sur la fin de première période. C'est un carton jaune pour Hamza Malouti qui le huitième de finale. L'entrée de Diallo, l'entrée de Diallo, avoir peut-être dynamisé cette équipe.
The net. Liverpool have taken the lead here against the run of play, but it was a wonderful individual run from Diogo Jota. He just dropped the left shoulder, moved it in towards the D, and then the shot, it was a slightly scuffed shot, but it wrong-footed Aaron Ramsdale, may have taken a deflection on the way through, and Liverpool have lift off in the League Cup. Arsenal 0, Liverpool 1. It was a really, really good run from Diogo Jota. He gets in, he dropped the left shoulder, White tries the deflection. It was just a reverse shot, really, completely wrong-footed Aaron Ramsdale as it goes through. I don't think it does take a nick. It goes through the legs of Ben White. Ramsdale, I think, may have thought he could have done better when he sees it back. He has a long time to look at it, but his body weight really was off balance. It was moving to the left. The ball went to the right, and Diogo Jota puts Liverpool with 1 foot now into the League Cup final. His 13th goal of the season in all competitions, Diogo Jota, and Liverpool, as I say, close to Wembley again. 20 minutes have been played though, and Arsenal up to this point have been arguably the better side. They really did put Liverpool to the sword. They've hit the crossbar already, but ultimately if you don't take your chances you do get punished, and Liverpool have always got that in the locker, and it was a really well worked goal from Diogo Jota. I do think it was slightly against the run of play, but that's what cup football is all about. Liverpool have won the ball back in midfield, and Jordan Henderson with a very clever flick out towards Alexander-Arnold on that left hand side, but they move it forward and Tierney gets there ahead of Gordon, so he pokes it in towards the D, where Aaron Ramsdale comes on out, right-footed, long ball over the top. Alexander-Arnold has to watch this carefully, and he does, and he wins the header, only as far as Lacazette, who heads it back in towards Smith Rowe. Van Dijk rises and heads it clear. Martinelli picks it up on the left-hand side. Bit of a shove from Alexander-Arnold, but Gordon comes and helps the Liverpool right back out, and it's been forced out of play, and it will be an Arsenal throw-in midway inside the Liverpool half. In fact, it's well beyond the midway point. It's only 10 yards back from the edge of the 18-yard box. Kieran Tierney has come forward, of course, from left back to take this throw in. Odegaard makes a run, and the ball lands at the feet of Odegaard. It comes back towards Tierney, who finds Gabriel on the left-hand side, now in towards the centre circle. Ben White looking for a long ball, perhaps. Forward it goes to Odegaard, who's drifted out towards the right-hand side. He finds Tomiyasu, who then drops the shoulder and beats Curtis Jones down the right for Arsenal, out towards Saka, 10 yards in from the touchline. He has to go back towards Morten Odegaard, and he will square it once more towards Ben White, who's just at the tip of the centre circle. He finds Gabriel, and Gabriel goes back to the goalkeeper, and Arsenal there have been forced from the edge of the Liverpool penalty area all the way back to Aaron Ramsdale. And as much as I was praising the Arsenal defensive shape just a few moments ago, the Liverpool defensive shape there was equally as impressive. Ben White has it on halfway, right-footed ball, trying to release Saka down this right-hand side, appeals for offside, the flag stays down, but it skims away from Bakary Saka and out for a throw into Liverpool, level with their own 18-yard box down this left-hand side. Robertson's just going to take his time throwing this up the... He takes the throw in up towards the halfway line. Firmino eventually closes down Ben White, but it's easy to go back to Ramsdale. And now Kieran Tierney midway inside his own half. He was closed down really well there by Gordon, and he had to come back on himself. And now Ben White has it midway inside his own half, unopposed at the moment. Long ball over the top. Saka can't quite get there. Curtis Jones, though, with a very clever bit of play to spin around, and then Lacazette comes back and just trips Curtis Jones just on halfway. And it will be a free kick to Liverpool. and they will not be in a hurry to launch this football forward, rather. Mikel Arteta's just trying to make a couple of tweaks by the looks of things from his technical area, just not happy with a bit of the positioning from the Arsenal players at the moment. In fact, Emile Smith-Rowe has just moved slightly further up the field. He's now in the centre circle alongside Lacazette by the looks of things, and Saka is trying to get further forward on the right. There's a clumsy challenge in midfield from Lokonga, though, as Liverpool were trying to just move the ball forward, and Lokonga bundles into Robert Firmino, and it will be a free kick again to Liverpool, and Arsenal can't afford to let this game get bitty. They were very, very good up until Liverpool took the lead. Andy Robertson from the free kick, sent it out towards the left-hand side. Curtis Jones just a couple of yards in from the left touchline, back into the centre circle where Van Dijk will send it out towards the right-hand side. Martinelli, who's back just ahead of Kieran Tierney there, just wins the header ahead of Alexander-Arnold, and it goes out for a throw-in. Matip takes it quickly. Van Dijk has it midway inside his own half, and Arsenal don't have a player within 15 yards of him at the moment. Squared out towards Andy Robertson. Still Arsenal not pressing in the higher area. It goes back towards Matip on the right-hand side. He moves the ball forward. Gordon will find Jordan Henderson, and Henderson goes back to Matip. Matip will drop back towards Virgil van Dijk. Thought he was going to square it out, but instead he shifts it out to his right foot and goes long over the top looking for Curtis Jones, and it just skims off the surface ahead of the youngster from Liverpool, and it's gone out for a throw-in to Arsenal down this right-hand side. Still in their own half of the field, Tomiyasu does have Ben White behind him for support, but instead he's going to drop it out towards Lokonga. A poor ball back to him from Lokonga, but it just about reached Tomiyasu, and Ben White will go back towards Aaron Ramsdale. He drops to the right-hand side of his 18-yard box and clears long. Saka can't win it ahead of Andy Robertson. It comes back towards Curtis Jones, and Curtis Jones did really well under pressure from 3 Arsenal players there, but he can only direct the ball back out to touch. Tomiyasu has another chance to throw the ball in, this time 10 yards inside the Liverpool half down the right-hand side. And it's a little bit further now, as Tomiyasu is still stealing yards as we're saying this. In forward it goes to Lokonga, and then back towards Tomiyasu, and Tomiyasu plays it straight against Robert Firmino and back out for another throw-in, and I'm sure he's going to steal a yard or two from this one as well. He's already walking diagonal back towards the touchline. Throws it down the line this time towards Lokonga. Suspicions of a foul throw there against Tomiyasu, but the throw wasn't a good one anyway, and it's cleared up towards the Arsenal half of the field. Ben White gets there ahead of the goal scorer Jota, but ultimately all he can do is direct it back out of play. So it's another throw-in. 25 minutes have been played here at the Emirates Stadium. It's Arsenal 0, Liverpool 1, both on the night and on aggregate. Liverpool with 1 foot in Wembley Stadium for the League Cup final, where they will meet Chelsea if this score was to hold. They've worked the ball all the way back towards Kelleher, who moves it up towards Matip on the right-hand side. He plays it forward, and that's unlucky from Alexander-Arnold. He tried to let it run and spin in behind, but it was cut out by Tierney, who then can't keep it in place. So Liverpool will have to make do with a throw-in on halfway down this right-hand side. And the team in yellow this evening are starting to just get their control of the game. They're controlling the possession and the passing at the moment, and Arsenal may live to regret not taking the chances they carved out in the opening 15 minutes of this contest. There is a long way to go though. That's very clever play from Curtis Jones in midfield as it was played in towards his feet, and he let it run across his body, and he shimmied, and he's now just at the edge of the Arsenal penalty area on the left-hand side. He had Jota for support. He comes back out to Alexander-Arnold though. Alexander-Arnold at the midway point. He's now seen the run from Curtis Jones in towards the left channel. He picks it up, he drops the shoulder. Odegaard out paying him attention. In forward it goes towards Jota, and now Andy Robertson gets forward on this left-hand side. Curtis Jones picks it up again. There's a very clever run from Firmino to the left-hand side of the 18-yard box. Back it goes towards Robertson, and now Curtis Jones again. Instead, there was no crossing area, so he decides to come back towards Van Dijk, who then lifts it out towards the left-hand side, where Robertson plays it infield. Jota escapes from Lacazette too easily. Quick feet from him in towards Gordon at the edge of the penalty area. Alexander-Arnold tried to make a run. He tried to feed it in between the fullback and the centre half, but Martinelli was back to cut it out, and now Arsenal try to break down the left-hand side, and Tierney escapes from Van Dijk, and he's midway inside the Liverpool half, approaching the edge of the penalty area. Matip goes to meet him. He drops the shoulder, finds Martinelli in the penalty area, and there's Fabinho with a wonderful challenge, and he helps the ball back to Kelleher. Excellent defending from the Brazilian Fabinho. Wonderful work from him. He never gave up on that at all, and Van Dijk, who was left for absolutely nothing in the penalty area, he was left for dead, Van Dijk. He was getting nowhere near Martinelli, but thankfully for Virgil van Dijk, Fabinho comes back and he makes the challenge. And I thought for a second while I was talking, Liverpool were going to be in down the right-hand side as Jordan Henderson had escaped, but unfairly, says the assistant on that left-hand side, the free kick was given to Arsenal on halfway. And the game just sparked into life there temporarily. It was a wonderful bit of action from both sides, and Arsenal look very, very good in the counter-attack. As I speak, Kieran Tierney is just taking his eye off the ball and it's rolled under his feet, and ultimately he has given a throw-in away. An interesting fact about Fabinho, incidentally, he scored 3 goals in his last 3 appearances for Liverpool. He'd only scored 3 goals in his previous 127. I guess goals are like buses when you're a holding midfield player. Liverpool come out with Matip and squared in towards Fabinho, and it finds Curtis Jones at the edge of the centre circle. He gets into the centre circle, but Bakary Saka is giving him lots of attention. He has to come back on himself and find Van Dijk, and now Jota moves the ball forward to the left-hand side. He gets it on the outside of his right foot and then drops it off towards Andy Robertson. Now turns back round the corner, and Jota does a good job of staying on side. He gets to the left byline, in towards the penalty area, and it's behind everyone except for Emile Smith-Rowe at the edge of the penalty area, and he's almost given it away, but Arsenal do eventually hook it clear, and it's picked up by Virgil van Dijk in the centre circle, and Liverpool starting to crank up the pressure of their London-based host. Forward it goes, out from Firmino, out towards the right-hand side. Henderson helps it on towards Fabinho, level with the edge of the penalty area, deep cross, but there's no yellow shirt there. Diogo Jota will pick it up on the left-hand side. Andy Robertson takes over, back it comes out towards Curtis Jones in the left corner of the area. He drops a shoulder, he sells Lacazette and finds Matip, and Matip's going to be forced backwards though for Liverpool. Good work again from Arsenal defensively, but it's very tiring without the ball. Infield it goes towards Fabinho, and then back out to Andy Robertson in the left-back channel. It goes in towards Van Dijk on the left-hand side of the centre circle, and he will move it out to the right-hand side where Matip advances to the tip of the centre circle, then comes back and finds Van Dijk in the centre circle again. Robertson on the left-hand side moves the ball forward towards Curtis Jones and gets it straight back. Andy Robertson, early ball from deep here, and that's allowed Gabriel to come across. He takes it on his knee. It's not going to run out of play, but he's under pressure from Firmino, and all he can do with it, Gabriel, is push the ball out of play for a throw-in deep in Arsenal territory, level with the 6-yard box on this left-hand side for Liverpool. And they really are starting to assert their dominance in this contest. They're coming a long way back. They've taken that throw-in in the end. It almost went out next to the corner flag, and they took that throw-in level with the edge of the 18-yard box, presumably to change the angle. Curtis Jones, left-hand side, moves it forward to the man who just took that throw-in, Andy Robertson. It comes back towards Curtis Jones, 10 yards in from the left touchline, midway through the Arsenal half. Back to the centre circle and Matip, then Henderson, then one more out to Alexander-Arnold, who's hugging the right touchline midway inside the Arsenal half. Back it goes again to Matip. Matip escapes from Smith-Rowe, who just lost his footing. It goes back towards Van Dijk, out towards the left-hand side. Robertson turns around with his left foot, back to Van Dijk, and Liverpool here have just got it on the passing machine, and it's almost like a conveyor belt, and then eventually Martinelli has enough, and he steals the ball from Matip. Smith-Rowe takes up the charge, infield towards Odegaard, approaching the edge of the penalty area. Saka on the right-hand side, takes it on his left foot, gets it onto his right, Joe's a shot away, and it's blocked by Robertson, and it's going to go out for a throw-in on the right-hand side, and Liverpool there, for all their pretty and precise passing, as soon as Martinelli triggered that press, they looked like they were in trouble. Saka tries to get down the right-hand side, he has his pocket picked by Andy Robertson, and the ball goes behind for another Arsenal corner, this one from the right-hand side, and Arsenal here would love an equaliser. Half an hour, well, 31 and a half minutes have been played here. It's been such a good game, it's just flown by. Excellent advert for the EFL Cup. Zonal marking from Liverpool. It's going to be a left-footed Bakary Saka corner from the right-hand side. It will swing in towards Kelleher's goal, and it does swing in towards Kelleher's goal, and Matip gets up above everybody and he heads clear, and it's helped clear by Diogo Jota at the edge of the area, and Kieran Tierney has to come across to the right-back position to keep it alive for Arsenal. He lifts it back up in the air. It's beyond Gabriel though, and Alexander-Arnold will clear for Liverpool, and it's well held by Firmino, but he couldn't quite keep it alive. Tierney again is there, now in the centre-half position. He volleys it, but it goes up in the air. Gabriel's in the centre circle. He wins a back header. Alexander-Arnold helps it back into the Arsenal half. This time it's Ben White's chance to clear, and now Alexander-Arnold does very, very well to a quick step over and takes the ball back to Kelleher, and now it's Van Dijk, and Liverpool have been able to put their foot on the ball again. Excellent work from them. Andy Robertson, early ball forward. Oh, and a mistake from Tomiyasu. He cut out the pass initially but lost his footing, so it dropped to Curtis Jones, and Curtis Jones can't make anything of it, and now Lokonga loses his footing as he cuts out that pass, but no damage done from an Arsenal point of view, and Emile Smith-Rowe has it on the left-hand side of the centre circle. Back it goes to Ben White, midway inside his own half. Very central at the moment. He's just walking the ball out. He wants more movement ahead of him. He's not happy with what he's seen there, Ben White, and he dumps it off in the centre circle to Lokonga. He goes early to try and release Martinelli down the left-hand side. Kelleher doesn't come for it, but Alexander-Arnold was under no real pressure. He tucks it infield to Kelleher. He finds Matip, back out to Alexander-Arnold, and Liverpool play their way out with consummate ease. Forward it goes, and then Ben White has to step in ahead of Diogo Jota and clear the ball into touch. It'll be another Liverpool throwing down the right-hand side. So it's been a decent game, and ever since Diogo Jota was the man who opened the scoring in the 19th minute of the game, it wasn't all Liverpool, as you might imagine. Arsenal were very, very good up to that point. The goal actually came against the run of play, but ever since then, Liverpool have taken control, and they are showing their class, and they really are a wonderful team to watch. Very, very enjoyable just from a football point of view. And Arsenal, likewise, everybody's second favourite team to watch in the Premier League, so I understand. So I'm not surprised that this game has been quite as entertaining as it has been. It goes forward from Arsenal. Tomiyasu has it in 5 yards from the touchline on this right-hand side. Back he goes to Ben White, and that's a very loose ball from Ben White, and Lokonga had to stretch to recover, and Gordon cuts out the clearance from Lokonga, and Jordan Henderson has it at the edge of the Arsenal penalty area, and Alexander-Arnold goes around him, and he manages to get there ahead of Tierney, and he floats it in towards the back post, and Jota's there, and he heads it across the face of goal, and Arsenal just about smuggle it clear, and now Gordon manages to win it back, and Robertson tries to run into the channel, and there's Odegaard, and then a quick step over from him and a clearance from the Norwegian international. Wonderful work from him, and he's almost released Martinelli down that left-hand side, but Kelleher again with his starting position comes out to the midway point of his half, and he tidies up for Liverpool, and that's something that Liverpool could have been caught out twice with that very good ball over the top to release Martinelli, but Kelleher has been equal to it on both occasions. He's had a very good opening 35 minutes, including an excellent save from a Lacazette free kick very early on. Curtis Jones has it, left-hand side of the centre circle, just inside his own half of the field. Out it goes to Andy Robertson. We've played 35 minutes here, 10 minutes before the break. Still, Liverpool lead from that Diogo Jota goal to nil. Virgil van Dijk dumps the ball back into his penalty area, and Kelleher will just put it back into his path, and the Dutchman will send it out towards Andy Robertson into the left-hand side. Robertson plays a dangerous ball forward, but Tomiyasu was just the wrong side of Jota, and now Jota wins the ball, and Tomiyasu brings him down. Jota stays down, but he's not going to receive treatment, and it's quite rightly a free kick to Liverpool, just on halfway, or just left of centre. In fact, it wasn't, I apologise to Tomiyasu, it wasn't actually him, he lost the ball, it was Odegaard who went through. Both Odegaard and Tomiyasu were in the vicinity, but it was definitely Odegaard that went through the back of the Liverpool man to give the free kick away. And credit to Diogo Jota as well, because it was quite a heavy hit from behind, and he sat down just momentarily, but he got straight back to his feet and got on with it, and Liverpool have done likewise. Alexander-Arnold plays infield towards Fabinho, and Fabinho gives it away midway inside the Arsenal half, and now Odegaard was in a channel of 4 Liverpool players and 2 quick spins, and he gets out of it, and then Tomiyasu tries a spin of his own, and he gives it away. Jota, though, loses his footing, and Tomiyasu is able to recover with the help of Bakary Saka, and Liverpool have given the ball away. Lokonga for Arsenal, back towards Ben White. Ben White was immediately put under pressure from Curtis Jones and goes back to Aaron Ramsdale, and he finds Lokonga inside the D, and he escapes from 3 Liverpool players, then into the centre circle. He finds Lacazette. It's not a good ball, but to Lokonga's credit, he was being fouled in the process, and the referee brings the game back for a free kick to Arsenal just at the tip of the centre circle in their own half of the field. We have got around about 8 minutes before the break, plus added on time here. It's been an enthralling first half of football. And as it stands, Liverpool have 1 foot in Wembley Stadium to take on Chelsea in next month's EFL Cup final. But Arsenal are far from out of this game at the moment, and they most certainly will not be going down without a fight. Gabriel, midway inside his own half, moves it forward towards Lokonga, who will send it out to Kieran Tierney on the left-hand side. The former Celtic man will go back towards Gabriel. Ben White is in support, and Liverpool's shape is very good. There's no real areas for Arsenal to play in, and they're not moving the ball quick enough at the moment to pull Liverpool out of shape. That's better though, as Lacazette picks it up on the right-hand side, moves it forward towards Saka. Unfortunately for Saka, he just couldn't make it stick to his feet, and he was forced backwards, and Arsenal still have it, but back in their left-back channel with Tierney. He's approaching the halfway line though, Kieran Tierney, and he just drops his shoulder and he tries to thread a ball through to Martinelli. That was well cut out by Alexander-Arnold though, and Arsenal have to move back towards the right-hand side, where Ben White, still 15 yards back from the halfway line, will find Tomiyasu on halfway. He drags the ball infield, and then a left-footed ball trying to release Saka down the left channel. It was a good idea from Tomiyasu to come infield and then apply that ball over the top, but he was not on the same wavelength with Bakary Saka on that occasion, and ultimately the ball goes out of play for a goal kick to Liverpool. So we've got around about 7 minutes, or just under 7 minutes of the first half to play. It has been excellent entertainment, it really has, but Arsenal just been a little bit short in the final third early on, as Kelleher takes the ball from the central area of his 6-yard box. Jota wins a header unopposed in the Arsenal half, but he can only direct it towards Lokonga, and he heads it back towards Ramsdale, and Arsenal will start again from the edge of their 18-yard box. He puts the ball down as he's had it in his hands for a little bit too long, and he drops it to Odegaard just at the edge of the D. Back into the area for Gabriel, and out towards Tierney on the left-hand side. Tierney comes forward, and that's a decent ball to find Martinelli, and a lovely first touch from Martinelli as he gets his head down and his legs open, moving towards the Liverpool goal. Alexander-Arnold does hold him up with the help of Matic, and he comes back out again to Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe uses his left foot out towards Saka, and Saka now level with the edge of the 18-yard box down the right-hand side. Infield it goes towards Odegaard. Long ball over the top, over Matip, but headed clear by Alexander-Arnold as they try to seek out Martinelli, and the clearance helped out by Jordan Henderson for a throw-in to Arsenal when they throw it backwards towards Gabriel in the left-back position into the centre circle, where Ben White just takes a touch and takes it infield back towards Odegaard. Left-footed ball out towards Lokonga, back to the left-back channel, and Arsenal will be patient. Ben White, tip of the centre circle. He's just going to enter the centre circle, then move it out to the right-hand side, where Tomiyasu can go into the Liverpool half of the field. He moves it forward towards Saka, and Saka holds off 2 Liverpool players. One was Curtis Jones, and then goes back into his own half of the field and dumps the ball off to Ben White. Right-footed ball from White, long, over the top. This time Saka has made the run, but Andy Robertson did so well to just head it back towards Kelleher. It was a deft little header from Andy Robertson from about 25 yards outside of his penalty area. It was very, very well executed, and Liverpool are looking very, very good here. They move the ball up towards Firmino on halfway. He runs into a channel though, and he tries to play it back towards Andy Robertson. It just takes a nick off an Arsenal toe, and it's going to cross out for a Liverpool throw-in, left-hand side, midway inside their own half. 4.5 minutes before the break, plus added on time. Liverpool leading from a Diogo Jota goal to nil after Arsenal had hit the crossbar through Alexander Lacazette, which was actually an excellent save from Kelleher with his fingertips very early on. And since taking the lead, Liverpool have taken the game by the scruff of the neck, and they've moved it out towards Alexander-Arnold, right-hand side. He crosses to the midway point of the Arsenal half, gets it back onto his right foot. Gordon goes out to the right-hand side for him. He's hugging the right touchline now. He comes out to Firmino, who's very, very deep. Back it goes towards Matip, right-hand side of the centre circle, forward to Alexander-Arnold in a central position, doing battle with Lokonga. Both players end up on the deck. The ball goes loose into the centre circle, and the referee's not interested. Van Dijk moves it left-footed forward to Fabinho, and now to Matip. Matip on the left-hand side of the centre circle was closed down really well by Smith Rowe, so he goes back to Kelleher, and Van Dijk will pick it up on the left-hand side, forward towards Curtis Jones, again into a alleyway of red shirts, but he manages to come out of it, and Andy Robertson uses his left foot to poke it back towards Kelleher. He has to break to the right-hand side of his 6-yard box though to clear the ball. He does, straight onto Tierney's head, but he can only find Henderson. Henderson was under pressure, and the offside flag had gone up anyway, so it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal, just 5 or 6 yards inside their own half of the field, and Gabriel will spot the ball and then move away from it, and Lokonga will take the free kick for Arsenal. Interesting that Thomas Partey's back from his work event from the African Cup of Nations and takes the substitutes bench today. I do often wonder how quickly players come acclimatised from coming back from tournament international football to go straight into a semi-final squad. But I'm sure Mikel Arteta has done his due diligence on his player and is aware that Thomas Partey can feature, otherwise he wouldn't be on the bench this evening. And he's watching on with thoughtful eyes here, Mikel Arteta. Liverpool have a throw-in, just level with the edge of their own penalty area down the right-hand side. Curtis Jones has dropped into the space, but it goes back via Matip, via Alexander-Arnold rather, to Matip in the area, and now Van Dijk on the left-hand side. He's got Andy Robertson ahead of him, uses his left foot to clear up to halfway, but only onto the head of Tomiyasu. Quick 1-2 from Tomiyasu and Odegaard, and Tomiyasu now dumps it into the centre circle where Lokonga drops the shoulder, escapes from Firmino far too easily, and sends it out to Kieran Tierney, left-hand side, midway inside the Liverpool's half, 2 yards in from the touchline. Back it goes to Lokonga, and now Gabriel joining in, left-hand side of the centre circle, gets it on his left foot, tries to spread the lines, looking to release Kieran Tierney down that left-hand side, but Van Dijk, far too experienced for that, just steps in and wins the ball back for his side. Arsenal asking if it's gone out down that right-hand side. The referee and assistant say no, though, so Liverpool escape, and Fabinho will move it back to Alexander-Arnold. He will put it up towards the centre circle, and it's helped on by Gordon, and back towards Van Dijk, midway inside his own half. Helped up towards halfway, and this time Curtis Jones, I think, gets a bit of a kick on the knee from Alexander Lacazette. It's going to be a Liverpool free kick, and it's going to be a yellow card for Alexander Lacazette, and his frustrating evening is increasing here, the Arsenal striker. And that was a little bit of frustration there. Van Dijk helped it in towards the centre circle, and he did try to win the ball. It was no danger of it being malicious, but he just did it a little bit. He got there late, did Lacazette, and he ends up standing on Curtis Jones' foot. No malintent involved at all, but a late challenge from the Arsenal number 9. We are in the final minute of the first half, plus whatever the referee wants to add on. Liverpool coming forward, but it's stabbed clear at the edge of the penalty area, back towards Matip on the right-hand side of the centre circle, and Van Dijk will move it out towards Andy Robertson. Van Dijk takes it again midway inside his own half, and now Matip will pick up on the right-hand side, a yard back from the halfway line. Forward it goes towards the goal scorer Jota, and back to Fabinho, right-hand side of the centre circle again. Alexander-Arnold will take over. Now Van Dijk in the centre circle. He's going to leave it to Curtis Jones in that quarterback role for Liverpool, in towards Fabinho and back towards Matip, right-hand side of the centre circle. Liverpool just happy to keep the ball at the moment as they move it again to Van Dijk and then back to Matip. Matip closed down by Smith Rowe, but it's a one-man press for Arsenal, and Alexander-Arnold has found some space, and Gordon towards the edge of the area with the reverse ball out towards Henderson. Kieran Tierney couldn't get there, neither could Martinelli. Henderson does, and the cross comes in, and Aaron Ramsdale will just gather it up at the edge of a 6-yard box, and we've now played 45 minutes of this game, and there's going to be 1 minute added on at the end of this half. Aaron Ramsdale still has the ball in his hands for Arsenal, and he throws it out to Tierney on the left-hand side. He will go back to his own penalty area where Gabriel will walk the ball out for the Gunners. He's got Odegaard in support, but he's got Jota one side of him and Gordon the other, has the Arsenal number 8. So he goes back towards Ben White and Tomiyasu, and now Ben White again out towards Tomiyasu. He takes it on the side of his foot, misses Odegaard out, finds Lacazette on the halfway. He puts it into the path of Odegaard. He gets dispossessed, and then Lacazette fouls Diogo Jota, and Jota asking if that's a free kick and saying should it be a yellow card because he just clipped him from behind, did Lacazette. He's only just been booked, but I agree with the referee Martin Atkinson's assessment on that one. It did look like it was just a coming together as Lacazette was trying to get out of the way, and Jota wins the free kick rightfully, and no card produced for Alexander Lacazette. Don't forget Arsenal were down to 10 men by this stage in the first leg. Granit Xhaka getting himself sent off. Here comes Robertson, left-footed ball is helped on. It comes to Fabinho at the edge of the box. He shoots and it's blocked, and now Smith Rowe can bring the ball out for Arsenal if there's time to move it forward. He puts it in towards the path of Saka, but that's really good defending from Andy Robertson. He goes to ground, wins the ball, and there is the half-time whistle. So it's been a really entertaining half of football. That can't be denied. Arsenal flew out of the traps. They hit the crossbar very early on, and Alexander Lacazette free kick. He dinked it over the wall. It was fingertips of Kelleher who tipped it onto the crossbar, but then Arsenal switched off from a counter-attack and Diogo Jota got into the area. He wrong-footed Aaron Ramsdale and he put Liverpool into the lead. Join me in 15 minutes for live, uninterrupted second half commentary. Half-time at the Emirates Stadium though. Arsenal 0, Liverpool 1.
The live broadcast of this match will start momentarily. On Flashscore, you can also tune in to other commentaries. we regularly bring you the Premier League, the Champions League, or Europa League, while national team matches are also available. Do you want to look at stats while you wait? Have a look at our match details where you can find lineups, head-to-heads, and a lot of other interesting information.
lead the line for Liverpool. For Arsenal, Ramsdale in goal, Tierney, Gabriel, White and Tomiyasu the back four, Lokonga just in the holding midfield role, Martinelli, who was very lively in that first half, Odegaard, Smith Rowe and Saka in the midfield with Alexandre Lacazette up front. Liverpool have the ball with Jota down the left-hand side. It goes towards Robertson and he has to force it back towards Virgil van Dijk in the centre-half area, and he'll play it back towards Kelleher and moves it out for a first touch for Konate since coming off the bench at half-time. Alexander-Arnold plays it against an Arsenal player, and Martinelli and Lacazette nearly profited on the left-hand side of the penalty area. But again, excellent goalkeeping from Kelleher with a wonderful starting position, manages to just snuff out the attack, and Fabinho has it at the tip of the centre circle for Liverpool. He just quick 1-2 with Jordan Henderson. Liverpool are leading by a goal to nil, both on the night and on aggregate. Just a reminder that if Arsenal were to find an equaliser and it remains level after the 90 minutes, it will go to extra time and penalties. No away goals in the EFL Cup anymore. There was once a time when they used to come into effect after extra time in the second leg, but that doesn't exist anymore, as Martinelli trying to escape down the left-hand side, but really good play by Curtis Jones to dispossess him, and then an early ball looking for Jota, but very well watched by Ben White as he just drops the shoulder, lets the body run across his body, and he gets Arsenal moving again. Odegaard shut down by Fabinho at the edge of the centre circle, back towards Ben White, long ball over the top, and it's a good one as well. Saka gets in beyond Robertson, who's appealing for offside. The flag has stayed down. Saka facing up Robertson now on the right hand side of the 18-yard box, drops the shoulder, gets back onto his left foot, finds Odegaard at the edge of the area, he loops it back in the air for the return run of Saka, and Arsenal guilty of overplaying in the final third there. Bakary Saka got in down the right-hand side, he held it up, and Odegaard with a looped ball over the top. It was a difficult ball to play, and Arsenal just guilty of overplaying, and now Liverpool trying to hit them on the counter-attack as Gordon plays it forward looking for Jota, and this time it's Aaron Ramsdale's turn to come out of his 18-yard box and clear long. This game has started in the second half just as well as it finished the first. Odegaard has it on halfway, poor touch from him, and he was closed down by Alexander-Arnold, but he escapes and into the centre circle for Lokonga, and he moves it in between the lines. Emil Smith-Rowe now gets moving for Arsenal down the left-hand side. He finds Gabriel Martinelli, who gets in towards the right-hand side of the penalty area, left-footed ball across, and Van Dijk's there to clear it with his left foot up towards Lokonga. Lokonga doing battle with Roberto Firmino, but he's done very well, and then Firmino with a very heavy challenge. He left the ground, advantage played. And there's a good ball forward, and Lacazette escapes in the middle, gets into the area, and he gets a shot away, and it goes over the crossbar. He's appealing for a corner, Alexander Lacazette, but it looked to me as if he just fluffed his lines at the vital moment. Lokonga looked up, Lacazette timed his run to perfection, gets in between the centre halves. His first touch was good, his second one lifted it over the crossbar, and he should have done better. Alexander Lacazette is sat down perfectly for him, no suspicion. He's appealing for the corner off of Andy Robertson, but he just leant back and missed the target. Robertson did get back and put pressure on him, but there was no question of a corner there, and Alexander Lacazette, I think, was trying to spare his pride. The ball's been worked back towards Ramsdale for Arsenal at the edge of the penalty area. Long ball over the top, looking to catch Liverpool out again, and it's a really good ball from Ramsdale as well to find Martinelli, but he took his eye off the ball at the vital moment, and it drops out of play for a throw-in to the visitors. Such a good ball from Lokonga to release Alexander Lacazette into the middle of the area there, and it just leant back at the wrong time. It sat up perfectly for him. It really did. It was a striker's opportunity, but he blazed it over the crossbar. Throw-in comes in. Fabinho clears long for Liverpool, and it's been picked up again by Arsenal. Odegaard moves it out to Tomiyasu, right-hand side, closed down by Jota, midway inside the Liverpool half, and he gets out towards the touchline, turns it back round the corner, and this time it does take a deflection off Diego Jota, and it's going to go out of play for a throw-in to Arsenal down the right-hand side. Tomiyasu went to try and retrieve the ball, and he's moved Bakary Saka away from it, and then throws the ball down towards his teammate, and now picked up by Odegaard on the right-hand side for Arsenal, infield to Lokonga and back towards Ben White, and Arsenal again not brave enough to move the ball forward. Gabriel in the centre circle moves for the Gunners out towards Tierney. He just takes it 5 yards inside the Liverpool half. He has to turn back on himself though. He wanted more running ahead of him. He was being closed down by Gordon, so he goes back towards Gabriel, and now it's moved forward by Arsenal in towards Smith-Rowe, over the head of Smith-Rowe though, headed away by Konate, and Henderson goes back towards Van Dijk. He will play it into the path of Kelleher, who will clear long Kelleher. Again, straight onto the head of Tomiyasu for Arsenal, and he heads it straight onto the head of Virgil van Dijk, and he heads it to the feet of Diogo Jota, who tries to escape down the left-hand side from Ben White, and he does a good job of it, and he's heading towards the penalty area, and now he does escape from Ben White completely, and he's in the area on the left-hand side, pulls it back towards Gordon. Oh, and he's put it over the crossbar. Gordon, the youngster, the 17-year-old for Liverpool, was just leaning back. He had the whole goal to aim at, and a rush of blood to the youngster's head, and it sees him sky the ball over the crossbar and into the stand, into the Liverpool fans who have packed out that away end behind that goal, away to our right. Oh, it looked easier to hit the target than it did miss. Wonderful work from Diogo Jota, though, and the run from Firmino went in towards the near post, which freed up Gordon for the effort in the first place, and the left-footed effort hits his side foot and goes over the crossbar into the Liverpool fans behind that goal, and it remains Arsenal 0, Liverpool 1. He's not the sort of player that will let that miss affect him, the youngster, Gordon. He is a very confident lad, Liverpool's second youngest scorer of all time. And Arsenal have won the ball in the centre circle, and Lokonga will move it out towards Gabriel Martinelli, and this is the area he loves to run into, approaching the left-hand side of the penalty area. They're doubled up on him, and he escapes from both players, but he's being held up, and he's trying to be forced away from goal. He's done very well, though, twisted and turning away from Curtis Jones. It goes back towards Gabriel, and then into the middle of the Liverpool half and Odegaard, and back to halfway where Gabriel crosses into the Liverpool half. He's going to square it out towards Kieran Tierney, and his first instinct is to play it back towards Aaron Ramsdale. He's got it midway inside his own half of the field. He waits for Gabriel to get alongside him. He just dumps the ball off left-footed, and Gabriel moves it out to the outside of his left foot and then back infield and finds Ben White. Moved out to Tomiyasu on the right-hand side. Now forward to Lacazette, who's just picked up a position on the halfway line. He feigns as if he's going to escape down the left wing, then tucks it infield, and that's a really poor ball from Odegaard on this occasion, but Arsenal win it back on halfway. Lokonga will send it back towards Gabriel, and now they're back with the centre halves here, Arsenal. Ben White moves it out with the outside of his right foot. He squares it out towards Lokonga. Lokonga just miscontrols temporarily, and that gives Jordan Henderson the impetus to just close down the Arsenal man. It comes back towards Lokonga, though, and now into the Liverpool half of the field. Tierney tries to turn it around the corner towards the run of Smith Rowe, but it was closed down by Curtis Jones, and it goes out for a throw into Arsenal, and they've thrown it back to the centre half, Gabriel. Into the centre circle it goes. Odegaard will dump it back towards Smith Rowe, to Gabriel rather, and he goes to Ramsdale, and he clears long, and this could be interesting for Arsenal as Martinelli goes in towards the edge of the area. Kelleher comes out, gets two hands on the ball, and Martinelli jumps into the goalkeeper. That was a clear foul on Kelleher, no question about that one. Martinelli had every right to go for the ball, but he was never going to get there, and as soon as Kelleher had two hands on the ball, Gabriel Martinelli just jumps into the Liverpool goalkeeper. He turned his back as well. It wasn't a nice challenge. Nothing too malicious, no need for a yellow card for Martinelli, but a free kick rightfully awarded to Kelleher, and he's gone long with it, and it's jumped out towards Firmino, and he goes back to Fabinho in the centre circle, out towards Gordon, just hugging this right touchline. He takes it on his knee very, very well. Back towards Alexander-Arnold, forward to Roberto Firmino again, and then back to Alexander-Arnold, and he split the lines, and Fabinho stays onside, and he sends it out towards the left-hand side in the penalty area, and it's a really poor touch from Curtis Jones. Fabinho was probably better off once he got into the gap and into the penalty area, having a strike at Ramsdale's goal. He tried to do the unselfish thing, though, and Curtis Jones couldn't get it under his spell, and Arsenal survive. Liverpool have won the ball back on the left-hand side of the centre circle. It goes forward again, and this time Jones does escape. Jota does escape from Gabriel. Gabriel says he was fouled. The referee disagrees, and it's cleared by Tierney. There's no red shirt forward, though, and it goes all the way through to Kelleher in the Liverpool goal. He's outside of his 18-yard box, and he's just going to slow the game down slightly for Liverpool. He finds Van Dijk, and he will square it across to the substitute Konate, forward to Roberto Firmino, and now Fabinho in the centre circle for the men from Merseyside. Out towards the left-hand side, back to Fabinho. He's being fouled by Lacazette on a yellow card, remember. Lacazette is all over Fabinho here. 2 or 3 nibbles, and now he's arguing with the referee, and he's had 2 warnings since he was booked here, Alexander Lacazette, and he really does not want to think about getting a second one. If he gets another yellow card, that will be his race run, and Arsenal will find it very, very tricky to get back into this League Cup semi-final. He's not going to get booked, though. Martin Atkinson just going to give him one more warning, Lacazette. as Arsenal win the ball back, and Odegaard in the middle of his own half sends it right to Tomiyasu, and Tomiyasu hesitates, and he's had his pocket picked and then fouls the Liverpool man, and he's going to go into the book here. Tomiyasu, you would think. He just lost control of the ball in the right back channel. He had his pocket picked by Curtis Jones, and then he put two arms around Curtis Jones to stop him from escaping down the Liverpool left channel. Really poor play from Tomiyasu, and he's in the referee's notebook as a result, and he's very fortunate himself that Diogo Jota didn't manage to control the ball as it fell to his feet, because otherwise he would have been bearing down on the Arsenal goal, and Tomiyasu still would have picked up the yellow card. Free kick to Liverpool then, midway inside or just beyond the midway point of the Arsenal half of the field, very left of centre, 15 yards in from that left touchline. Andy Robertson and Alexander-Arnold are around this for Liverpool, the usual suspects in their set-piece delivery. Virgil van Dijk and Konaté have gone forward. Firmino's hanging around the edge of the area, so's Fabinho. It's Robertson who puts the symbol up, and he delivers it left-footed into the box, and there's Tomiyasu to head clear. It comes out as far as Gordon, and Gordon will send it out to Konaté, who's in the right wing position at the moment for Liverpool. Infield it goes to Roberto Firmino. He does a good job of sending himself back out towards the right channel. He runs out of room though, and has to go back towards Jordan Henderson on the right-hand side of the centre circle. Square across to Andy Robertson, and now Alexander-Arnold, who stayed forward. Square to Fabinho. He's got some room here, the Brazilian. He's going to try a shot from distance, and he does, but it's blocked at the edge of the 6-yard box, and Alexander Lacazette this time uses his strength to good effect to win the ball back, and then it looked as if he was fouled by Curtis Jones, but Martin Atkinson says play on, and Liverpool have the ball back, and it's out towards the left-hand side. Alexander-Arnold, and Ramsdale comes out, and he's underneath Van Dijk, and he gets a good right-handed punch to the ball, and it goes behind for a Liverpool corner. More worryingly for Arsenal, though, Kieran Tierney, who also jumped up with Ramsdale for that ball, has stayed down after the collision. Ramsdale went through everybody, and he punched the ball first, then his left-back second. He gets to his feet, Aaron Ramsdale, and Kieran Tierney stays down in the 18-yard box. He's back to his feet, though. It's not too serious from the former Celtic left-back. And Liverpool will deliver this corner from the right-hand side. Van Dijk and Konaté still stay forward, so is Fabinho in and around the area. Diogo Jota is pushing and shoving at the edge of the 6-yard box. Jordan Henderson is in there as well. There's a line of players, Van Dijk, Konaté and Fabinho, just at the back end of the 18-yard box, left of centre. Gordon is hanging around in the D. He's being monitored by Emile Smith-Rowe. The corner will come in from Trent Alexander-Arnold, right-footed, and it's a decent one as well. And in towards Konaté, who wins the header, it hits the post, back to Jordan Henderson, saved at the near post by Aaron Ramsdale. And he should have had no right to save it, and the offside flag's gone up anyway, so it wouldn't have counted. But Aaron Ramsdale there pulled out a save of absolute miraculous conditions. The header from Konaté was a good one. It went down in towards the post, it hits the post, and Jordan Henderson was in an offside position when the ball bounced back to him, but his shot was saved at the near post by Aaron Ramsdale anyway. Excellent goalkeeping from him, and a decent line from Arsenal, and they survive again, but they still trail by 1-0 in this second leg of the EFL Cup semi-final. Chelsea await the winners at Wembley, and Kieran Tierney has the ball, insisting on playing their way out short despite Liverpool's high press. Ramsdale will move it out towards Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu with a gorgeous touch sits down Curtis Jones and then approaches halfway, and he tries to feed it into the path of Bakary Saka. Fabinho though back to block that off, and it bounces off the Brazilian and out for a throw into Arsenal on halfway. Back that's gone to Ben White, and it's going to be picked up by Odegaard in the centre circle. It will square it to Lokonga. Right-footed ball out towards Kieran Tierney, now to 15 yards inside the Liverpool half, helped on towards Martinelli, and Martinelli's approaching the edge of the penalty area. He cuts in from the left-hand side, he's now very central, finds Odegaard, gorgeous first-time ball by him, out towards Saka. Saka cuts back onto his left foot and then goes back towards the byline. Can he get across? And he can towards the back post, and there's nobody there, but it's going to be kept alive down this left side by Tierney, and he tries a cross and it bounces off of Gordon and out for an Arsenal corner. Much better from the Gunners on this occasion. They've got a corner from the left-hand side. Can they find an equaliser and then make this a very interesting final 30 minutes here? Just a reminder, if Arsenal do find an equaliser and it's still level after 90 minutes, it will go to extra time and penalties. No away goals in the EFL Cup this year. Martinelli deep in towards the area. Keller with a punch. It comes out of Smith-Rowe on the volley and off balance, and it goes over the crossbar. But a decent opportunity that from Arsenal. It was a very good corner from Martinelli in towards the middle of the area. Alexander-Arnold. Alexander Lacazette challenged with Kelleher. Kelleher won the ball, and it comes out to Smith Rowe, and he volleys over the crossbar from just inside the D. Unlucky from Arsenal. That's much, much better play from them. Kelleher has started to take his time over the goal kicks, and Martin Atkinson is just geeing up the Liverpool youngster. He gets the ball back towards the 6-yard box as he plays it short, and then he goes long, and Gabriel wins the header. It's up in the air in the centre circle though. Jota and Odegaard both move towards it. It drops down towards Saka, and now Odegaard finds Lokonga in the centre circle, and Arsenal have the ball back. It goes back to the midway point of their own half though. Ben White, right of centre, will move it forward to Lokonga. Lokonga will give it back towards the former Brighton and Hove Albion man, and he finds Gabriel, and he moves it forward towards Kieran Tierney. Tierney had a great spell of success in the SPL, of course, with Celtic, and it's a really poor ball from Gabriel as I'm talking there. He was only squaring it to Ben White, but it was a good 5 yards the wrong side of Ben White, and he was under no real pressure from anybody in a yellow shirt, so Arsenal have got away with it, and Gabriel has it again, and that's a left-footed ball going forward. This time Gabriel Martinelli hadn't made the run down the left-hand side. That's the ball that Arsenal are looking for is on a regular basis, the long ball over the top to release Martinelli down in that left channel. They've looked dangerous on a couple of occasions when they've used that in the second half of this game, but they do insist on playing their way out, and on occasion they've got themselves into trouble. Curtis Jones is trying to come down the left-hand side. He was being held up by Saka, and he has to go back, and now Fabinho will play it in. Van Dijk lets it run across his body, and Kelleher comes to the edge of his penalty area and puts it back into the Dutchman's path. He will then bring it onto his right foot and square it across to Konate, and Liverpool can play their way out up towards halfway. And it's a really good ball as well, and they've released Trent Alexander-Arnold. Early ball in towards the penalty area. It's missed by everybody. A good deflection, and Firmino can't get on the end of it. Gabriel does an excellent job of just poking it into the path of Lokonga, and now Liverpool are going to concede a foul and a yellow card down the left-hand side. Lacazette was trying to escape, and the substitute Konate comes around, 2 hands around the body of Alexander Lacazette. Free kick to Arsenal on halfway, and a yellow card for this substitute. Konate came on to replace Jean Matip at half-time. There is going to be another substitution momentarily. I think it was Liverpool, I can see, are preparing a change, and Gordon's EFL semi-final has come to an end, and he's going to be replaced by Minamino, the second Liverpool substitution of this game. None from Arsenal as of yet. So 2 changes then for Liverpool. And confirmation that Ibrahima Konate has gone into the referee's notebook. And the ball goes back towards Aaron Ramsdale. Long ball over the top from the Liverpool goalkeeper, and offside against Arsenal, which is unfortunate for them, and it's going to be another free kick to Liverpool. I'm just looking at Thomas Partey, who does appear to be warming up at the moment. He's looking on. He came on at half-time as well while the players were off, and he was given a decent warm-up. But it has to be said, after the North London derby was called off at the weekend, it's hardly surprising that Arsenal haven't been able to make any substitutions so far in this game. Just the 2 for Liverpool, as Tierney picks up the ball on the left-hand side and plays it back to the centre-half position, and Gabriel. Ben White squared across to the right-hand side. It's a long ball over the top, looking for Saka. He loses out in the air to Andy Robertson, though, and it's been picked up for Liverpool in the midfield area by Curtis Jones. And Andy Robertson has gone on to the left-hand side again, and now he plays it in towards the middle of the area. Odegaard puts the interception, but his touch can only take it out towards Firmino on the left-hand side. He gets towards the byline, gets it in towards the penalty area, takes a deflection, and Aaron Ramsdale has to get down to the right-hand side and pluck it out of the air. It was excellent goalkeeping from him. It did take a deflection on the way through. Minamino, the substitute for Liverpool, was attempting to get into the near post, but that deflection just took it away from Minamino, and Aaron Ramsdale held on to it gratefully at his near post. He's got the ball back as the Arsenal #1, and he's furious with his defence. He's looking for options and gaps, and he's screaming at the Arsenal midfield, Aaron Ramsdale, and they've been forced to play their way short again. Ben White comes out towards the edge of the area. He finds Lokonga. Lokonga gives it straight back to the Arsenal goalkeeper, and he moves out to his right foot. He's forced to go long because he was put under pressure. Alexander Lacazette can't get there, and it's cleared away by Virgil van Dijk, and that's picked up by Arsenal, and that's going to be a foul against Odegaard in midfield by Curtis Jones, and it will be a free kick to Arsenal right of centre midway inside their own half. They need to get the ball forward. They've got 25 minutes to rescue this EFL Cup campaign. They've been brilliant in this tournament so far this season, have Arsenal. Gabriel will square it across to Ben White. So have Liverpool, in fairness to them. I'm giving no discredit to Liverpool whatsoever. They've been superb tonight as well. Saka comes back towards Tomiyasu, and Tomiyasu will square it over to Gabriel. He's on the left-hand side of the centre circle, and he will square it out towards Kieran Tierney, and he moves into the Liverpool half of the field. He was closed down by Minamino, so he goes back towards Gabriel and then back towards Tierney on this left-hand side. He uses his left foot again to find Gabriel, and Arsenal being patient, but Liverpool's defensive shape is preventing any spaces for Arsenal to play in. They try to turn it around the corner. It drops towards Henderson. He can't make it stick. Smith Rowe with a clever little shimmy, but that takes him straight into Alexander-Arnold, who clears upfield towards Gabriel, who heads clear, and that's bounced off the head of Konate, I believe, for Liverpool, and it's going to be a throw into Arsenal down the left-hand side. They need to move the ball forward, though, and they go backwards to Gabriel, squared in field. Again, Ben White will take it into the centre circle, still in his own half of the field. Forward it goes, this time to Odegaard, and then back towards Lokonga, and Lokonga's been dragged back into a centre-half position temporarily. He squares it out to Gabriel, who's in the left-back position, and now Ben White, who's very central, will tuck it infield towards Aaron Ramsdale, and he's going to go long with a diagonal up towards Saka. He does take it on his chest, but Andy Robertson was touch tight to him, and he manages to pick his pocket. And now Roberto Firmino goes out towards the left-hand side. He misses out Minamino, and it goes back towards Fabinho at the edge of the centre circle. Left it goes now to Curtis Jones, and forward to Diogo Jota. First touch is excellent. He's tearing in towards the penalty area, runs straight into Ben White, and Arsenal win the ball back. And now Odegaard helps it in towards the path of Smith Rowe in the centre circle, and that's a dreadful ball from Emile Smith Rowe. He had both Alexander Lacazette going through the middle. We had Bakary Saka going for the right. He tried to pick out Bakary Saka, but the ball was dreadful, and it was easily picked off by Van Dijk. And then Liverpool give it away in the Arsenal half of the field, and Saka gets bundled down in the Liverpool half right of centre, and it will be a free kick to Arsenal midway inside the Liverpool half. And Smith Rowe will be really disappointed there with such a poor ball. He just didn't get any of the precision, the power or the pace on the ball that was needed to release Bakary Saka, and it was so easy for the Dutch captain to step in. But here come Arsenal again. Smith Rowe, can he atone for that at the edge of the box? He gets a shot in. Oh, and it's blocked, and now Saka can't keep it alive, and it comes out towards Alexander-Arnold, and he plays it back in towards the penalty area, and Andy Robertson will move it out towards Curtis Jones, and Alexander-Arnold drops over to the right-hand side in his more familiar right-back position. It comes out towards Curtis Jones, and a clever little spin from him moves him up towards halfway, on towards Roberto Firmino, and he puts it into the path of Jota. He lets the ball run across his body, and now he releases Alexander-Arnold in towards the Arsenal penalty area. Early ball in towards the back post. It comes out towards Minamino, left-footed shot, and it takes two deflections and a block. It looked as if Minamino may have handled the ball anyway. The referee's not interested, and Arsenal clear. Odegaard now picks it up, and he tears past two Liverpool players, then gets bundled over. Could have been a free kick. The referee sees that Arsenal is still in possession. He gives the advantage symbol, and Lokonga can move it forward for the Gunners. Out towards the left-hand side where Tierney, first time ball back towards Gabriel, and Arsenal will drop back to this patient style of play, and they're quite happy to move it from side to side and try and drag Liverpool out of position. They do need to move it a damn sight quicker, though, if they are going to drag the Liverpool players out of position. White will send it left towards Lokonga. First time ball back towards Gabriel, and then back to Ben White, and it's been helped all the way back towards Aaron Ramsey. He will put his foot on the ball. He rolls his studs over it temporarily, and then finds Lokonga midway inside his own half. Goes forward towards Ben White, and he will square it out left to Gabriel. He moves it up to the midway point of the Arsenal half. Out towards the left-hand side where Tierney takes over. They're still trailing by a goal to nil. The goal scored by Diogo Jota for Liverpool, taking them to Wembley as it stands. And Arsenal just playing a private game between their centre-halves at the moment. Eventually they do move it in towards the centre circle. Odegaard can't control it. Konate will touch it back towards Kelleher, and I'm just wondering if Mikel Arteta is thinking about making a change, either to the personnel or the system. Ball goes up towards Minamino. Lovely first touch from him, and the second touch from Roberto Firmino gives it back to Minamino, and he's just twisting and turning. Good work from him, and he's going to send it out towards the right-hand side. Alexander-Arnold helps it on to Jordan Henderson, and I can now see an Arsenal player getting readied down below us. They've won the ball back in midfield. Smith Rowe just runs into two Liverpool players, and Ben falls over essentially, and Martinelli picks up the charge for Arsenal down the left-hand side. 2 yards in from the left touchline, it's forced backwards again towards Kieran Tierney, and now Gabriel in the centre circle, left-hand side. Back towards halfway, and Odegaard takes over, and he twists and turns, steps away from Fabinho, then steps inside Diogo Jota and finds Alexander Lacazette on the right-hand side. He moves it forward towards Bakary Saka, and he swears backwards towards Lacazette. Now Odegaard takes over. Good football this from Arsenal. Quick 1-2 with Emile Smith-Rowe, and he gets it onto his left foot, out towards Gabriel Martinelli. He's now level with the edge of the penalty area. He's going to go towards the left byline. He throws a dummy. He's twisting and turning. They're doubling up on him. He does manage to get a cross in towards the back post, looking for Lacazette, but Van Dijk heads clear. Tomiyasu wins the header at the edge of the box and gives it straight back to Van Dijk, and he will hook it out for a throw-in on halfway to Arsenal. They're not going to make the substitution now. They're going to take the throw-in very quickly. They're going to try and keep the pressure on. In fact, Liverpool are sitting much, much deeper at the moment as Lokonga takes over on the left-hand side of the centre circle. When he gets into the Liverpool half, it triggers the press, but they beat it temporarily. Gabriel Martinelli down the left-hand side. He beats the first man, not the second. Runs straight into Alexander-Arnold after beating Minamino. Alexander-Arnold clears only up to halfway, only as far as Ben White. He goes backwards towards Gabriel, and he finds Odegaard, who was closed down by Curtis Jones. He dumps the ball off just in time. Good football again from Arsenal. Forward to Lacazette, right-hand side of the centre circle. It comes back again towards Odegaard. Gorgeous ball from him, and he finds the feet of Gabriel Martinelli, and he steps inside away from Minamino, and he's going to run at Alexander-Arnold. Left-footed ball in towards the near post, and it's flicked over the bar from Kelleher. It was really good work from Martinelli. I couldn't tell if that was a deliberate shot or if it was a cross. He didn't look up. I think he just mishit it, but he nearly got lucky. It nearly snuck in through the hands of Kelleher, but he tips it over the crossbar, and Arsenal have a corner, and they will keep the pressure on. The corner will come from the Arsenal left. I'm not sure, I can't see it, and they're not going to make the substitution just yet either, Arsenal. So this corner will come in first. Lacazette is standing just in front of Kelleher in the 6-yard box. Zonal marking from Liverpool, and the corner doesn't beat the first man. And you've no idea how infuriating that must be for the centre halves who go forward, and the amount of times I see that in top-level professional football is unacceptable. Arsenal come again though. Lovely ball out towards Martinelli. Can he do better on this occasion? He cuts in at the edge of the penalty area and then gets to his left foot down the byline again. He had the opportunity to cross on his right foot, but he runs into Jordan Henderson as he tries to get it back onto his left foot, and it goes out for an Arsenal throw-in down the left-hand side, and it's still very deep into Arsenal territory, and it's going to be a double change for Arsenal here, and Lacazette is going to make way, and I think Thomas Partey is about to come on, and so is Eddie Nketiah. We'll just see who goes off. Smith-Rowe is going to make way, so Smith-Rowe and Lacazette come off, and Thomas Partey and Eddie Nketiah come on. And it looks as if Thomas Partey has the captain's armband in his hand, but he can't find the player he needs to give it to at the moment, so he's still holding it in his hand. The throw-in's not come in at the moment. Tierney has the ball, and it's down the left-hand side. He's got the ball in his hands here, Kieran Tierney. It's down the left-hand side, level with the penalty spot. And eventually he's going to throw the ball in. It's a deep one, but it's going to go straight onto the head of Fabinho. It's easy for Liverpool to clear, only as far as Ben White midway inside the Liverpool half, though. We have got 16 minutes of the 90 left to play. Liverpool with 1 foot in the EFL Cup final. Experience for experience is about to come on for Liverpool as James Milner, who's played around about 450,000 matches, I think, is going to come on to replace Jordan Henderson, the standing captain. And I should imagine James Milner will take the armband as soon as he comes on. Very experienced man. Newcastle United, Leeds United, Manchester City, Liverpool. He has had an Aston Villa. Sorry, I didn't mean to leave out Aston Villa. He has had an unbelievable career, James Milner. And even at his age now, he still looks like one of the best players in the league. He's a defensive dynamo, James Milner. Arsenal, though, have to try and get back into this game. Thomas Partey will move the ball forward. Oh, and the flag's gone up down this right-hand side against Eddie Nketiah. And that looked like an appalling decision to me. I don't know if Eddie Nketiah just was coming back from an offside position as he turns it back in. I was following the ball, I must admit. I wouldn't mind seeing that again on the monitor they provide for us here. But offside has been given anyway, and it will be a free kick to Liverpool down the left-hand side, midway inside their own half, and they are currently 15 minutes plus added on time away from yet another visit to Wembley. It would be a 13th final, an unbelievable achievement from Liverpool as Alexander-Arnold moves it forward right-footed towards Diogo Jota. It lands on the head of Tomiyasu, who's defending very, very well, and a first touch for Lokonga, since he's just moved slightly back into a holding position. It goes out towards Milner though, and Milner will send it via Robertson down towards Minamino, and Minamino suckers in to Arsenal players and finds Curtis Jones, and he gets the ball back, Minamino, and he tries to help it in towards the penalty area, and it's very loose. Gabriel hooks it clear, Milner picks it up at the edge of the area, ball in looking for Jota, headed clear, still alive through Robertson, and he shoots, and it just goes wide of the post. And I thought Liverpool had finished Arsenal off there for a moment. Arsenal, that's the most unassured they have looked when anything's gone into their penalty area so far this evening. They really struggled to clear their lines. The ball in from Milner was a real good one. Jota did well to stay on side. Tomiyasu did well to win the header. And the shot from Robertson flashes across the face of goal. And it goes wide for a goal kick. Massive warning for the home side there. And they're running out of time to stay in this season's EFL Cup. Long ball over the top, flicked on by Tomiyasu, but it's going to go to Fabinho, who just hooks it up in the air down the throat of Arsenal. Ramsdale comes a long way out of his penalty area and he heads it straight to Milner in the centre circle, who was picked off by Martinelli, and Martinelli escapes from Milner as well. He gets into the Liverpool half and then loses his footing, and Liverpool release Jota, and is there a suspicion of offside? He puts the ball in the back of the net anyway, and the flag, as far as I know, has stayed down. Oh, and now it goes up. And now the flag has gone up. Diogo Jota, I thought he may have timed that run to perfection. It went over the top. He made the run from the left-hand side to Diogo Jota after Fabinho had won the ball back. Alexander-Arnold is well onside. He is well onside. He's being played on by Gabriel down the left-hand side by at least a yard. His first touch, as he gets in front of Ben White, he takes it on his chest. Aaron Ramsdale comes out and he lifts it over the goalkeeper. VAR, of course, are checking this, and they will check it. And maybe they're looking at the wrong person, incidentally. I've just seen the replay just pop up on my monitor, and they're looking at his position at the moment in a frozen section with Ben White, but it's not Ben White, it's Gabriel, who's a few yards further back, who is playing on the Liverpool man quite clearly. They've realised it now, ladies and gentlemen. This goal is going to stand, and Liverpool are 2-0 up here. Liverpool are going to go 2-0 up here. I haven't had confirmation of the finish just yet. They're now checking for the chest. And Martin Atkinson is going to get the decision to his ear in a second. From the replay I've seen, though, this is going to be 2-0 to Liverpool. I think this is game over, or as good as game over. The check is still ongoing, ladies and gentlemen. I've seen a replay on my monitor, though. He's in an onside position. There can be no doubt about it. Liverpool here are 2 to the good, I'm sure of it. Martin Atkinson puts up the VAR sign, and it is Arsenal 0, Liverpool 2. It was a gorgeous, gorgeous finish from Diogo Jota, his second of the game. Liverpool are celebrating again for the third time, because they were celebrating when the ball went in the net the first time. The assistant got it wrong. VAR, though, they got it right. And Liverpool are on their way to Wembley. Arsenal 0, Liverpool 2. Oh, wonderful, wonderful finish. Wonderful run from Diogo Jota. Wonderful ball from Alexander-Arnold. He is in the top 5 assists of Europe this year, Alexander-Arnold. The top 5 assists in the top 5 leagues of Europe. He's third in that list. He's got 2 assists tonight. And Diogo Jota has got 2 goals. That was a gorgeous finish. Aaron Ramsdale may have rushed out of his goal just a little bit quickly, but it was a lovely, assured finish, taken on the chest, dinked over the head of the goalkeeper into the back of the net. What a signing from Wolverhampton Wanderers he has been, Diogo Jota. And Liverpool now, they've got 10.5 minutes plus added on time to see out, but they're on their way to Wembley as it stands. He scored 6 in 6 now against Arsenal, Diogo Jota. They must be sick of the sight of him, Arsenal. Liverpool, though, they're in dreamland, and the centre's gone all the way back towards Aaron Ramsdale, who's midway inside his own half. He lunks it up long, looking for Nketiah. It goes out towards the left-hand side, and Tomiyasu, rather, is done a very good job of winning a throw-in deep in Liverpool territory down the right-hand side. Arsenal need something, and they need something quickly. out it goes to Minamino, forward towards Thomas Partey. He turns it around the corner. Saka, edge of the box, finds Martinelli. It sits up for him. Volley goes in, and it's just over the crossbar. And Arsenal were so close to having one back there. Lovely 1 and 2 touch football. It's taken 80 minutes of the game to be playing in that sort of manner in the final third. But when it did come, it was gorgeous. And Martinelli just a whisker away from getting one back for Arsenal. It's still 2-0 though, and Arsenal need to keep coming. They've got 9.5 minutes plus added on time here to find a way back into this semi-final. The ball goes long from the goal kick. Jota, who's on a hat-trick all of a sudden, loses out to Tomiyasu, and Arsenal come again through Saka down the right-hand side. He beats the first man, but then runs straight into Andy Robertson, and he goes back towards Konate, midway inside his own half. Right-footed ball, looking to release down this right-hand side, and it's a decent ball as well. Minamino, with his gloves on, has got towards the right-hand side of the area. He beats 2 Arsenal players, squares it towards the edge of the penalty area again, where Curtis Jones picks up the ball, and then he runs into Odegaard, gives the ball away, then stops Odegaard's forward progress, and a yellow card for Curtis Jones. Liverpool, though, sense there's more goals in this game, but Curtis Jones, who's been excellent this evening for Liverpool, is shown a yellow card, and Arsenal have a free kick. They've taken it quickly. Ben White has it at the edge of the D. Gabriel's gone to the left of him, but he's going to move it forward to Lokonga, and he helps it forward towards Thomas Partey, and now out towards Saka on the right-hand side. 15 yards now inside the Liverpool half of the field. He's going to play it back infield towards Odegaard, as he dummies that and then tries to go down the channel. Curtis Jones, who, as I say, has been excellent tonight for Liverpool, sticks to his task, and he has to go back infield and find Lokonga out towards the left-hand side. Gabriel trying to join in the attack for Arsenal. They need something, and they need something quickly. Lokonga again tries to take it forward, and he plays a ball down the left channel, and it's woeful. Behind the byline, no red shirt anywhere near it, and Mikel Arteta has his head in his hands and shakes his head with despair, and it's going to be a goal kick to Liverpool, and they will take their time over the restart. Liverpool, as you would imagine they would do. We're talking about game management at this point. And they've gone very short with the kick, and they've given it away to Martinelli, and it's just bounced away from Martinelli and in towards Kelleher. I was just talking about game management. I was not expecting Liverpool to take the goal kick short out towards Konate, and Konate to play it against Martinelli, and it was almost one-on-one with Kelleher from the 6-yard box. Madness from Liverpool there. They've done the sensible thing this time, and they've taken their time and gone long. The header was won. It's only as far as Firmino, though. And Firmino tries to tear in towards the penalty area, runs straight into Ben White, who clears the ball. Picked up by Curtis Jones at the edge of the area, though. He gets a shot in. Oh, and he just drags it wide. He tried to catch out Aaron Ramsdale at his near post, Curtis Jones. He just dragged it in, and it just goes a couple of inches wide of the post, as Liverpool are now preparing their 4th substitution of the game. And it's going to be Firmino, Roberto Firmino, to make way for Liverpool. And he's been pretty much on the periphery of the game here, Roberto Firmino. He hasn't reached his peak best that he was playing at the levels he was playing at just a couple of years ago. He's going to be replaced here by Nico Williams, the Welsh international, and another proud graduate of the excellent Liverpool Youth Academy. Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester United, Manchester City, Arsenal, Tottenham, all with excellent youth academies in the top flight of England. And it's excellent to see players such as Nico Williams, such as Curtis Jones, such as Trent Alexander-Arnold, such as Martinelli, such as Bakary Saka, such as Emile Smith-Rowe, all get game time in a major semi-final. It's so good to see for young football. Oh, we've got an idiot on the field here, ladies and gentlemen. The game has stopped. We've got a moron who's broken out from one of the stands, and he's getting his 5 minutes of fame at the moment, so he's running around the pitch, and he's going to spend the night in the cells and then face a 3-year football banning order. I hope the ticket price that you've paid was worth it, you moron. So Jurgen Klopp is just getting a drink and just talking to a few of his players. I wonder what goes through the players' minds when they've got an idiot on the pitch like this. I mean, there's no need whatsoever to enter the field of play. There's no need I don't understand the mentality of it, to, have a beer at a football match and then ruin your chances of going to another football game for 5 years. It's just madness. Absolute madness. It achieves nothing. It just makes you look like an idiot. Eventually he has been dealt with, and he's being carted off to the local cop shop for the evening, and the game can get back underway. And Liverpool have already shunted it forward, and they gave something for Nico Williams to chase down the right-hand side. It was too far ahead of him, though, and it goes out of play for a throw-in, and the stewards just reseating themselves down on the touchline area after dealing with that idiot just a few moments ago. Throw in from Arsenal, goes back towards Gabriel on the left-hand side of his penalty area, and he's going to play it back infield towards Aaron Ramsdale, and he thought about going long, but instead he finds Thomas Partey at the edge of the area. He plays it back infield towards White, and now Tomiyasu can bring it forward for Arsenal. He's going to go backwards to White, though. We're inside the final 5 minutes of this contest, plus added on time, which I think there will be a fair chunk of it. There's not been too many stoppages in the game, to be honest. It has been played in a really good manner, but the VAR check will take a few seconds, or add a few seconds on, and 4 substitutes for Liverpool in this second half as well, and they've won the ball back in the middle of the Arsenal half of the field, and Nico Williams then plays it to the left side of Thomas Partey, and he brings down the Liverpool man. It's going to be a free kick, and Thomas Partey, back from his work event in Africa, has been booked. Nice introduction for Thomas Partey, back from the African Cup of Nations. His last game in the African Cup of Nations was only 2 days ago. He must have been put straight back on a flight and straight onto the substitutes bench. Free kick for Liverpool then, midway inside the Arsenal half. It's going to be delivered by Trent Alexander-Arnold by the looks of things. He has got James Milner in and around it as well if he wants support. Milner's now going to move away from it. Alexander-Arnold does deliver it in towards the edge of the box. Ben White heads clear, only as far as Alexander-Arnold again. Right-footed ball, long diagonal, aiming for Van Dijk at the left side of the area. A lovely chest off to find Curtis Jones on the outside, and he goes backwards, and Liverpool happy to just manage the game. Kanate in the centre circle, sends it out back left, and that's a poor ball from Kanate, and it drops over the byline and out for a goal kick to Arsenal. 3 minutes and 90 left to go, and Arsenal don't seem to be playing with the urgency that they'll need to find 2 goals to force extra time at the moment. But 1 goal could change things, as you know. Football is a funny old game. Nobody, and I do mean nobody, would have predicted Tottenham Hotspur coming away with 3 points last night when they were 2-1 down, and 4 minutes of 55 seconds of 5 minutes added time had been played, and somehow won the game 3-2. Never write off a team who are behind. And Nketiah trying to get down the right hand side though, and that's not going to go anywhere. He plays it in towards the penalty area on the ground, and Kelleher, it was so tame, can just put the side of his foot on it, stop the ball dead, and he can just stand on the side of the ball until Martinelli comes and forces him to pick it up, and now he can clear short to the right-hand side of the area. It's a poor clearance though, and Alexander-Arnold gets picked off by Tierney, but Tierney can't make it stick, and now Minamino has it in the midfield area for Liverpool, and he gets tripped over by Gabriel, who had come up towards halfway, and a free kick to Liverpool just 10 yards inside their own half of the field. They're not going to be in a rush to take it. We're inside the final 2 minutes and 90. And Alexander-Arnold goes towards the ball, and he steps away from it, and he lets James Milner play it back towards Kanate. Kanate is in the right-back position for Liverpool. He's going to play it back infield towards Kelleher, who's on the verge of a clean sheet at the Emirates. Long ball from him. It's picked off by Tomiyasu, though, and Odegaard wins it back in midfield, and then Lokonga gives it away, and now Curtis Jones has been released by Liverpool down the left-hand side. Good first touch, takes him in towards the penalty area. He puts it in towards the path of Andy Robertson, and he was caught in 2 minds, I think. Andy Robertson, the Scottish captain, he could have left-footed into the bottom corner of the net or tried to drill it across Aaron Ramsdale, but he had 2 yellow shirts in the area in the form of Jota and Minamino, and he tried to do the unselfish thing, I think, and square it, and he didn't get the contact required, and Ramsdale just picks it up, but he goes long, and oh, that's a dreadful challenge in midfield, and there's going to be another card shown here, and Thomas Partey is going to be shown a second yellow card, and he is off. He's been sent off for a foul on Fabinho. It was impetuous, it wasn't high, it was impetuous, it was late, and Thomas Partey, back from the African Cup of Nations, has come off the substitutes bench and picked up 2 yellow cards in quick succession, and he's been sent off. It was a dreadful challenge from Partey, in truth. Looking at it again on this monitor, Fabinho gets to the ball, his studs are up, he goes over the top of the ball. It could have been a straight red card anyway, and I think that Martin Atkinson has been somewhat generous in giving him a second yellow rather than the straight red. Dreadful challenge from Thomas Partey, and for the second leg in a row in this tie, Arsenal have been reduced to 10 men. Thomas Partey has let down his teammates there. That's the 14th red card since Mikel Arteta's appointment at Arsenal. Liverpool kind of try and take full advantage. They go over the top, and Ramsdale comes out. He clears it up in the air, but over the head of Nico Williams just about. It wasn't a great clearance from Ramsdale, as Nketiah then gets fouled by Konate right on halfway. He just goes through the back of the Arsenal man. It's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. There's 5 minutes added on at the end of this game, and we've played about 30 seconds of that so far. But Liverpool are in cruise control. Arsenal are down to 10 men, and Kieran Tierney has the ball on the left-hand side. Oh, that's a heavy challenge from Minamino on Tierney, very, very late. And Minamino is going to be the latest Liverpool player to go into the referee's notebook. And that was a really late challenge from Minamino. I don't know what he was thinking there. Really late. The ball had gone about 3 seconds before he got there to Kamani Minamino. Really poor challenge. Arsenal try to shift it out towards the right-hand side. Saka helps it on, but can only help it over the touchline, and it will be a throw-in to Liverpool midway inside their own half. And we've played the first minute of the 5 that was indicated. Konate has the ball in his own penalty area. He's just going to square it towards Kelleher, and those two just playing their own private game momentarily. And now James Milner wants to join in at the edge of his own area, and now he squares it out to Konate. Good chasing by Odegaard, though. He's done so well, Odegaard. He's just covered 45 yards. He was the only player who operated a press there for Arsenal, and he wins the ball back deep in Liverpool territory. Can they find something to put the cat amongst the pigeons for the last 3 or so minutes of this contest? They've got it through Tierney. Tierney throws a dummy 10 yards back from the edge of the area, out towards Nketiah. Eddie Nketiah cuts infield. He finds Lokonga. Lokonga, first time ball back out towards Kieran Tierney, was a dreadful one. It goes out of play, and Liverpool have a throw-in midway inside their own half down the right-hand side, and Mikel Arteta will be very, very disappointed with his side's second half display. They were excellent for the first 15 minutes of this game and should have been in the lead when the scoring was broken by Diogo Jota. But ever since that goal, Arsenal have not really tested Liverpool too much. Kelleher hasn't had a great deal to do. They've won the ball back, though, through Ben White, and Fabinho goes to close him down, and he picks the pocket of Ben White immediately, and now he gets into the Arsenal half and sends it left towards Curtis Jones. Minamino picks up a space inside, but Jota takes over, and back it goes to Alexander-Arnold, and now Milner picks it up 15 yards inside his own half of the field. It goes back towards Van Dijk, and now with Konate in the centre circle. He's going to move it out to the right-hand side. Alexander-Arnold just cuts back infield. He's going to go back towards Konate. Konate's under no pressure whatsoever, so he just strolls into the Arsenal half of the field, and he finds Jota. Jota's clearly fouled in midfield, but the referee, I think, has taken a sympathetic view with Arsenal there, and he's given nothing. It was quite clearly a foul. And then Tomiyasu runs straight into Fabinho, and he gives the ball away, and Liverpool coming in towards the edge of the box. Oh, that was clever by Nico Williams, but Tierney didn't fall for it. He just tried to drop the right shoulder and let the ball run across his body at the edge of the box to get a free shot at goal, but Tierney, to his credit, did not fall for it whatsoever, kept his eye on the ball, went to ground, and it was an excellent tackle by Tierney. And now Liverpool give the ball away on halfway, and they've given it as far as Martinelli. Martinelli, I think, has run out of steam today. He's run his legs off, to his credit, and he has to go backwards to Tierney. He finds Lokonga, and he finds Ben White out towards Odegaard, right-hand side of the centre circle. He cuts infield, left-footed ball's a really good one for Nketiah, and he just can't take it down, and it drops over the byline again for a goal kick to Liverpool. It was a decent ball as well, and Nketiah, to be fair, gave everything he could to get on the end of it. Didn't do anything wrong, but it was just a yard or so in front of him, and it goes behind for a goal kick. And we are in the final minute of added on time, and Kelleher will take his time with the goal kick. And he's just going to take it now on the right-hand side of the 6-yard box. He does go long into the Arsenal half of the field. It's a free header, though, for Lokonga. He tries to head it down into the path of Saka, but it's going to go straight to Andy Robertson, who will turn it back into the penalty area. Kelleher moves it out to Konate, right-hand side of the box, and he again helps it forward towards Nico Williams. Tierney gets there first, and it bounces off Tierney and out of play for a throw into Liverpool, midway inside their own half. Again, they're not going to be particularly sharp in getting this back into play. Alexander-Arnold still has the ball in his hands. We've got 15 seconds by my watch left to play. Throws backwards to Canate. It's quite a poor touch from Canate, but no real pressure and no damage done. Infield to Kelleher, and then Virgil van Dijk at the edge of the D will help it forward into the midfield area. And Curtis Jones, who's been excellent for Liverpool tonight, finds Fabinho, and there is the full-time whistle, and Liverpool are on their way to Wembley. A disappointing second half for Arsenal, who started the game so well in truth, but they couldn't take advantage of it. The game sprung into life when Lacazette had a free kick just inside the D that looked goal-bound for all the world, and it was just tipped onto the crossbar amazingly by Kelleher. No idea how he got to it, but it was a brilliant save. Arsenal were brilliant for the first 15 minutes of this game, but in the 19th minute it came to Diogo Jota, who put the ball into the back of the net, and Arsenal never really recovered. The second half, I was expecting Arsenal to come out guns blazing, and they did for around about 5 minutes, and they forced a succession of corners, and they tried to get back into the game, but eventually it was that man again, Diogo Jota, who made it 2-0. Initially the goal was ruled out for offside, but VAR intervened and proved that he was clearly in an onside position. 2 assists for Alexander-Arnold, 2 goals for Diogo Jota, and a ticket booked to Wembley for Liverpool. Congratulations to them, commiserations to Arsenal, who can now focus on the league and just the league. Ultimately though, disappointing night for them and Mikel Arteta. Thank you for joining us, it's been an absolute pleasure. Full time though in the EFL semi-final second leg at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal 0, Liverpool 2.
The live broadcast of this match will start momentarily. On FlashScore, you can also tune in to other commentaries. We regularly bring you the Premier League, the Champions League, or Europa League, while national team matches are also available. Do you want to look at stats while you wait? Have a look at our match details, where you can find lineups, head-to-heads, and a lot of other interesting information. FlashScore, game-changing numbers. The live broadcast of this match will start momentarily. On FlashScore, you can also tune in to other commentaries. We regularly bring you the Premier League, the Champions League, or Europa League, while national team matches are also available. Do you want to look at stats while you wait? Have a look at our match details, where you can find lineups, head-to-heads, and a lot of other interesting information. FlashScore, game-changing numbers. The